What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we've got another deck profile. This time we're taking a look at Evil Twins or Live Twins, whichever one you prefer. This is a deck that I've always been interested in. I felt like a lot of people kind of shat on this deck as soon as it came out, and I've kind of been one of the people that defended it. I thought it was like actually a decent engine when you really consider that it takes very minimal investment to your main deck and still gives you pretty good payoff for one card engines and stuff, similar to something like Zodiac. So yeah, today we're showing a profile for Live Twin Eldlich. I know it's kind of basic, right? Everything seems to be Eldlich, but listen, guys, this deck doesn't really work as a pure deck. It just doesn't. Like, every play, unless you have specifically a way to the quick play spell, you lose to every one disruption in the game. Any one disruption, you lose to it. So it's really, really brutal like that. But at the end of the day, Eldlich is the best way to play the deck, in my opinion. And I think it kind of fits into a weird spot because we have like Zodiac Eldlich as one of the more popular control decks in the format. And then when you look at this deck, I'm like, is this really that much worse than Zodiac Eldlich? Because you're literally just swapping the Zodiac part for the Evil Twins or Live Twins, and I think they have their pluses and minuses. Maybe overall I might say that Zodiac is slightly better, but I think that's mainly just predicated on the fact that they have access to something like Zeus. And if Evil Twins actually had access to like a really strong boss monster that was easy to summon like Zeus, I think this engine might actually be better than Zodiac. But obviously it's still pretty good in its own right. I really do think this is a pretty decent control deck. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. Actually, real quick before, if you think this mat looks clean with Gears of the Orcus Mech Knight, it's a double-sided playmat with Equimax, Crusadia Equimax on the other side. Check the link in the description if you want to pick it up with 10% off. I'll throw a code down there as well. So check that out. Shout out to my boy Charles from Team COG. So without further ado, let's get into this profile, starting off with the monsters. Plain and simple. I mean, this is just super simple here. 3 Live Twin Kill and 3 Live Twin Lilla. Listen, everybody's going to have their opinions on which one is better. They do the exact same thing essentially, but Lilla's definitely best girl. I mean, it just is what it is. I'm sorry if you disagree, but you're wrong. So yeah, Lilla's the best. When they're summoned, normal or special summon, and you don't control any other monsters, they'll summon the other one straight out of the deck. So yeah, that's it. They just get you into this engine. It's all. They're both really good. They're both just starters, one card starters. From there, the only other like actual monster we play in the main deck is 2 copies of Eldlich the Golden Lord. Of course, you got to play him just because. If like I preach this all the time, if you're not playing pure, you probably just play 2 Eldlich because he's a brick. But if you're playing pure, definitely 3. So, yay! Moving on, the rest of the monsters are just hand traps. 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Gotta play it. It's just too good in the format. So versatile, hits everything. 2 copies of Ghost Bell, also really good specifically in this format. Just hitting so many different things. And then 2 copies of Skullmeister. Kind of fits in the same vein as Ghost Bell, but Ghost Bell's hard once return. He's not. And I guess he's also a fiend, so he can be summoned after. I don't know. He's weird. He's 1700 beater, which I guess could come up, but he just stops graveyard effects, which is really nice. You could have looked at DD Crow, but I like him because he stops stuff that banishes for cost, whereas DD Crow would miss the chance to hit those cards after they've banished themselves as cost. So didn't want to go too overboard on the hand traps. I did consider trying to make room for like 3 Skullmeister, 3 Bell or something, but space is honestly a little tight with some of the other cards I wanted to fit into the list without sacrificing any kind of consistency. So that's it for the hand traps. Nothing too crazy. You can obviously side more if you're worried about some of the more combo-y decks in the format, but still pretty nice. Moving on to the spells, we've got 2 copies of Secret Password and 2 copies of Live Twin Home. These cards are really cool. So this card searches any Live Twin or Evil Twin spell or trap card. So I play this, and I play one other cool little tech target that not a lot of people play that I've seen, which is kind of cool, so we'll get to that. But this essentially is a quick play spell that says discard any card from hand, then special summon one of the girls straight from the deck. So it's a cool extender, and also we're playing Eldlich, so that you have like 20 good discards in the deck that are just going to get you back value after you discard them. So discarding is not really a loss in this deck, and yeah, it's pretty good, honestly. So just an extender. What's really nice about this is if you just like draw her, like normal summon one of the girls, they get ashed, veilered, impermanence, whatever, just negated, but they stay on field, then you can just, or even if they leave the field, you just, and you have access to this, you just summon another one, then use the other one to summon again, and then you continue. So it's really cool. It just lets you play through Disruption and extend a lot further, which is really cool. Then for the Eldritch stuff, pretty plain and simple. 3 Cursed Eldland. I do play 1 White Destiny. You don't have to play this if you don't want to. You could play 1 black if you want. I do have it, even though it's expensive as fuck. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I like it because I just feel a little bit uneasy with only 3 Sanguine, because if you're in a really, really grindy game and you go through 3 Sanguine, you're literally just out of cards that get you access to Golden Lord after that, which I don't love. So I do like playing just the 1 copy of it. I know it can be a brick if you see it really early game, but honestly I feel like it'll also just come up super, super clutch, like every duel after turn 1, which is really cool. So yep, just 1 and 3 there. Really nice. Moving on, tech cards, 2 Cosmic Cyclones and 1 Called by the Grave. I just think this card's like amazing in the format right now. Chuche is really annoying for this deck to deal with, especially if you don't have your quick play spell to help you play through a Disruption, play through the pop. So Cosmic's really, really nice to be able to quick chain to stuff and just, you know, cut your opponent off of certain plays. Good versus literally everything except for Drytron, I guess. Mainly, and then the Called's actually like so good, right? Because Ash is kind of annoying because you're getting ashed on your normal summons, but also Bell's really good versus this deck because both your Link monsters just revive the other one. So your opponent's probably going to try and Bell you on their turn to try and keep you from getting that pop disruption. And so by having this, you can negate the Bell and then still resolve to pop a card. So keeping them from like defensively protecting their stuff from disruption is really nice. So I like that a lot. And then we have our traps. That's it for the spells. Final cards here. 3 Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, 3 copies of Conquistador of the Golden Land, and 2 copies of Hawkero. Some people like 3 of this guy. I'm only on 2 kind of for space, but also just 2 feels a little unnecessary. He's definitely not better than Conquistador, though he is nice in the format, but you know, we already have Graveyard Disruption with Skullmeister and Ghost Bell, so it's not that big of a deal. But yep, pretty standard, just Eldritch. And then we have the 1 tech card, which is 1 copy of Evil Twin Challenge. It's a really cool card. It just lets you special summon or target 1 Kiss-a-Kill or Lilla monster in grave, special summon it, then immediately have to perform a Link summon into one of your Evil Twin monsters, which is pretty cool. So the idea here is this is just an extender / like follow-up card, which is really nice. So even if they were able to like break through your stuff and like remove your monsters, you can just reborn them and then they reborn the other ones and so on and so forth. I believe the way this card works, by the way, it's almost like Ice Dragon's Prison, where if you reborn something and then you don't actually have the materials to perform the Link summon, you still would be able to reborn. You just wouldn't do a Link summon, obviously, because you don't have materials for it. I believe that's how it works. Obviously, let me know if it's not. It makes the card slightly worse, but still, it's still pretty cool if you could like reborn one and then just link like a Golden Lord and it off to then get into one of the links and then use the links to start reborning stuff. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it's just a cool one of, and it gives you a little bit of versatility. If you were to open like the passcode and the Live Twin Home, you'd be able to also search this out and use this as a follow-up / like extender card on your opponent's turn. It's pretty cool. All right, so that is it for all of the engine cards. So the last stuff here is just a couple of generic trap cards. 3 copies of Strike. This card's insane. I mean, we know how good this card is. One of the best traps going second, which I really like, because you may activate Sanguine in the face of your opponent. They may try to chain, because they know if they keep Golden Lord off the field, they're going to be in a good spot. So they may chain to try and negate it, but that's when you strike them. So you remove their monster, and you get to resolve for Golden Lord, which is really good. And then you play 2 copies of Crackdown. This is another one that's kind of interesting. There's a lot of different cards you could play here. I'm not even going to try and front with you. If I have Ice Dragon's Prison, I'm probably playing it here. I've said this for a lot of profiles, but traps are so good right now, and Ice Dragon's Prison is one of the best cards. If you can get your hands on it, I know it's pretty expensive right now, I would play 2 of that here instead. But I think Crackdown's a pretty cool substitution because all of the Link monsters for the Evil Twins or for the Live Twins say they just need any 2 monsters as long as one of them has the right name. name. So the other monster doesn't matter. So you can steal an opponent's monster, then just link it into one of your live twin or your evil twin link monsters, which is pretty damn cool that they're kind of generic like that. So cool tech card there that you don't see that often anymore outside of like maybe some guru decks, but very strong card nonetheless. But 40 in the main, not much draw power. There's not really a lot of cards that work because extravagance. You do care about your extra deck. Desires, you can't really play Desires with Eldritch, and Duality doesn't work. So like really doesn't, just none of the draw cards really work that well in the deck, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll find something at some point. But moving on to the extra deck, pretty plain and simple here. We're going to start off the same way we started off the main deck, which is 3 copies of Kissikill, 3 copies of Lilla. I do need to pick up the rest of the copies here. I only have 2 and 1, and unfortunately I literally just like ruined the second copy of Lilla. I accidentally like spilled like this what is it, like this like odor spray on it. It like literally leaked. I literally had it like next to the card. It leaked on it, and it literally destroyed the card. The card literally turned like white. Looked like a ghost rare, but it was flimsy and like destroyed. It sucks. But yeah, just assume you need 3 and 3. The deck likes to grind, so 3 and 3 is absolutely 100% necessary. They're very good. They both have quick effects to reborn one of the opposite name if you don't already control one with that name. And then on special summon, they gain an additional effect there. So when she's summoned, and I believe you have to also control her when she's special summoned, she'll let you draw a card, and then when Lil is summoned, she'll let you target a card on the field and destroy it. So both very good, honestly, just because you just like get it. Essentially, opening one of the monsters, I believe, just gets you a draw on your turn and sets you up for the quick effect pop a card on your opponent's turn, which is a lot of value. I mean, you make up the investment immediately just by drawing a card on your turn, and you're going to have at least a Dryden-esque effect on your opponent's turn. Very strong. That's why I like this engine a little bit more than Zodiac, even though I think overall in the meta it may not be actually better. But all right, so for a couple of other generic things, I do have 1 copy of Imduk, the World Chalice Dragon. This is just a cool utility card where you can link off any of the Eldritch trap monsters to 1, get them engraved, which is really nice, but 2, this guy can actually be an out to specific things your opponent controls, because he just says if he attacks or if he battles, I think it's just battles, right? If this card battles an opponent's monster that he points to, and he points straight up, you destroy that monster at the beginning of the damn step. So you don't even lose the monster. So if your opponent puts awkward zone placement, you can just summon him and just bam, dead. Which is really cool. And it also just helps get your traps in the grave so that they can start using their effects to rotate you into more, which is pretty nice. So just cool. 1 of. Then we play a couple of Nightmares, 2 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Unicorn, 1 Griffin. So kind of all over the place here. You might be like, John, that's a lot of Nightmares. Do they really come up? No, not all the time, but I believe, which ones are they? Which one locks you into it? Okay, so I believe it is the Kissikill and Lilla. Yeah, when they, once they use their effect to special summon like one of the monsters as a quick effect from Grave, one of the other, if you use Kissikill to summon Lilla or Lilla to summon Kissikill for the links, they actually say you can't summon from the extract for the rest of the turn except for Fiends. So you do need some Fiend extract monsters. These are all Fiend. They're all great. Griffin's the one you're making the least for sure, but it definitely could come up for the Floodgate, as well as the ability to just get back something like a Solemn Strike from Grave, which is pretty cool. If you just had like Strike or Crackdown or something in Grave, you could literally just set it back to your field, which is kind of insane. And then just removal for the rest of them, and they're generic. You can co-link them because both the Kissikill and the Lilla both have like down and side arrows, so they actually co-link very easily with the Nightmares, which is pretty nice. You can get some easy protection and redraw effects, which is really nice. And then for the rest of the cards here, 1 copy of Unchained Abomination, 1 copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. You could easily play 2 of this if you wanted, because this is a Fiend and this isn't, so I know you can't make him the same turn you revive something, but you can still make it at another time. if you want. A lot of people like to play access code. I just don't have access code. It's extremely expensive. If you have it, you probably should play it, but I don't, so I'm just like substituting something in here. You could also play Boral Sword, but Boral Sword takes 3 materials, where I could just take 2 of the links if I like used one of the links to revive the other on my opponent's turn. And so I had like 2 link 2s. I could immediately go into him, whereas I couldn't immediately go into Boral Sword. So I kind of like that utility on the next turn, but you could also just play 2 Abomination if you want. And then the last card I play here is 1 Constellar Pleiades. It's just a cool card for Eldritch. If you ever put 2 of the Golden Land cards on the field at the same time, they're all light level 5 zombies, so you can just take 2 of them into him, and then he's just a walking double compulse. Like, you just compulse something on your turn, compulse something on your opponent's turn, and he's very hard to deal with at that point, especially if you're making him later in the game. So very, very cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Live Twin Eldritch profile. It's a really fun deck, guys. If you like something like Zoodiac Eldritch, definitely consider checking this build out. The deck's actually pretty budget, I would. Well, okay, it's kind of budget. So literally everything's cheap except for a couple things. For the Eldritch engine, it's literally just the 2 Golden Lords, but I think they're still about $6-7. So there's like, I don't know, $15 maybe there. All this stuff has changed. Maybe Eldland, Cursed Eldland went up a little bit. I'm not even playing Black Awakening, so that's not expensive for us. Everything else is fairly affordable there. The only things that are actually expensive is the Live Twin Kiss-A-Kill and Live Twin or Evil Twin. Sorry, I always fuck that up. The links. The links are right now, they were at about 10 a piece when they came out, but now they're about 15 a piece. So it would be about, I don't know, $90 for a playset of each. That's why I don't have both just yet, and I'll hopefully have them soon. But yeah, I mean, that's literally the only part. Other than that, I think the deck actually might be under $150 total, and it's a pretty competitive deck. I really think this could be considered a tier 2 deck. Like, if Zoodiac Eldritch is considered a tier 2 deck, I think this deck might arguably be just as good. I think the only difference is just Zeus. Zeus being like a Dragoon out, and it just being such a massive like power push that's so easy to make for Zoodiac, I think is definitely the one leg up that it has over Live Twins. But other than that, I think the engine gets you more bang for your buck, more oomph, and it forces more cards out of your opponent's hand, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's it. That's all my analysis and profile for the Live Twin Eldritch deck. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Keep in mind, I'm just one dude. And I'm sure you guys have your own opinions on the deck. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this deck, what you would change in your own builds, because I'm always just curious to see what you guys might think. If there's anything I might have missed that would be worth playing in future builds, definitely curious on that. So let me know in the comments down below on that. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, more profiles. I got them coming. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.